Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, you know, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Just like the family dynamic in this is very interesting. Both of their father figures, and we never get to see the grandmas.
I was going to say, there are no grandmas.
They definitely weirdly paint the male.
They're like we only want to talk about daddy issues. We don't want to talk about anything else.
Like
That's
they
it.
both have major daddy issues. Let's talk about it. We don't want to talk about the G-mas.
Yeah, no. Clearly, Judd Apatow had a great relationship with his mom and his dad. He's like, that guy in particular. I'm gonna write two horrible father figures in this movie. Welcome to the Rom-Com Rewind podcast.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Devin.
And like you, I love rewatching movies over and over again.
You made it here. You found us somehow. You love romantic comedies. We do as well.
So this is a show where we rewatch rom-coms, break them down a bit for you, maybe take a peek behind the curtain, dig beneath the surface, and decide, does it still hold up?
This week we have This is 40. And if you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, even Amazon Music, wherever you're listening, if you could take like 30 seconds to just, write a review, that helps more people find us. As well, if you hear something on this podcast or a past podcast that you want to reach out, you want to talk about, at Romcom Rewind on Instagram, TikTok, and as well you can email romcomrewind@gmail.com.
We have a message from Helga. She said, "Hi, I'm listening to your show about Two Night Stand. In the episode, you talk about the new Footloose movie. I just wanted to recommend that movie to you. It is not quite like the original, as it starts with the accident that makes the people of the small town not allowed to dance. The movie is good, although it is still not better than the previous movie. Thanks for the fun podcast. Best greetings from Iceland." Thank you, Helga.
First off, Helga, absolutely a great suggestion. I love how she says it can't be as good as the original because, of course, we know the original has Kevin Bacon.
Oh my God, Kevin Bacon. Like, I have had this discussion with people lately, and they're like, what do you see in Kevin Bacon?
But we should put the new Footloose on the list. I just want to shout out Iceland, though.
Yeah, I know. I love, yes.
Okay, low-key, in like the back end of like the people who host our podcast, we can like see generally where people who listen are. I always find it, I want to know who the person in Sweden, for example, is listening. Or there are people in Bulgaria listening. New Zealand, Saudi Arabia even. And yeah, I'm showing some downloads from Iceland. So that's probably Helga. Thank you, Helga. I was always curious who it was. This is 40 is the sort of sequel. That's how Judd Apatow actually puts it. Of 2007's Knocked Up. This is 40, released in 2012, so it's 5 years after that fact, is the story of Pete, played by Paul Rudd, and Debbie, played by Leslie Mann. Pete and Debbie are married, as they were in Knocked Up, but just as in Knocked Up, life is not all totally perfect. They are both turning 40. They have daughters, aged 8 and 13, who are a handful. They are, struggling with money, careers, relationship with other family members, and honestly struggling with their own relationships with each other. That's basically the story. That's the lead-in for This is 40. What are your thoughts?
This sounds horrible, but do you ever wonder what it would be like if you and your wife were separated by something bigger, like death, like her death?
I have given it a fair amount of thought.
Not in any painful way, but just like a gentle floating off.
It's got to be peaceful. I mean, this is the mother of your children.
And then the new wife would be great.
God, I can't wait to meet my second wife. I hope she likes me better than this one.
This one's an interesting one. I've always loved this one. I love anything that Paul Rudd does, and then separately anything that Leslie Mann does. So like the fact that they're like together in this, I love it. But this movie is an interesting one because the plot is just that. It's their life. It's, the ups and downs of marriage, turning older, turning 40, midlife crisis, like all of that, raising kids, trying to figure out your family, all that stuff. But there's no, the plot is just that. Like, that is exactly what this movie is. That's it.
It's probably like a week and a half span just of like both of their birthdays. That's it.
Yeah, and them coming to terms with them turning 40 and everything that happens.
All the baggage that comes with that.
All of
apparently.
that baggage, clearly. So, I like the movie mostly because of the cast, because of Judd Apatow. Like, I always, his movies are always a good laugh. The actors in it are awesome.
Oh, absolutely.
I can't say anything more about that just because they're phenomenal. Jason Segel's in this. It just goes on and on about how fun this movie is.
That's what Judd does really well. Like, the movie itself is great, but then you get 2 scenes with Melissa McCarthy that are just like a riot. It's hilarious. And then she's gone and you're like, okay. And then you get, Jason Segel for 2 scenes and it's hilarious. This is one of those, like, I would call it an uneasy relatable comedy because I think it tried to mimic life so much, and it is very funny, and there are some scenes that are hilarious, and I think you start to see yourself in these characters, but then you see this incredibly self-destructive argument, just this monumental blow-up, and you think, wow, that was a lot. Definitely not relatable anymore, or is it relatable?
Or is it? Yeah.
Which makes that a little bit unnerving.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know what? The movie is R-rated.
Yes.
And so you do see, like, even the kids swear, and you're just like, whoa, like,
oh my
okay,
God. Yeah.
this is R-rated.
That's right. There was a review on Rolling Stone that I really liked this line. This person said, there are big laughs here, and then there are smaller ones that sting. And I think that's kind of it. Like, there are some hilarious moments, and then there are moments where you're like, wow, we're really getting into the crux of a marriage that, like, is it working? I don't know. This feels toxic. Wow, this is really intense all of a sudden,
Yes. Yeah, I would agree. So it starts out that it is Debbie's birthday. She is turning 40 or 36, 37, 38, 39. We're not really sure, but she's turning 40.
Turning 40, and she's telling people she's...
all of those ages.
Yeah.
So Pete and the kids have a birthday party. They've kind of like a birthday morning for her, and she just can't accept that she's turning 40. She's a little bit having a bit of a midlife crisis, I think, because she's turning that age. And I mean, for me, age is one of those things that you just can't control. So I try not to fret about age as you get older, but I don't know how I'm going to feel.
I was about to
40.
say, she said not being 40 yet.
I may be like, oh my gosh, it's a big milestone, but I'm going to try to be positive about it.
We'll see how that goes. Stay tuned.
Yes, yeah, in the years to come.
I was going to say it's not for a while, but...
Okay, the worst birthday gift you ever received?
I can't remember if it was a birthday gift, but my mom went traveling to an area in Canada called Northwest Territories. It's a very rare place for anyone to go. And I thought, wow, she's going to bring me back some amazing souvenirs, something spectacular.
Totally.
Here, where we live, you need to have 2 license plates on your vehicle, a front license plate and a back license plate. That is legal. She brought me back a Northwest Territories license plate, and she's like, wouldn't that be cool? You can put it on your car. I'm like, I can't. So what else did you bring me? And she's like, that's it. I'm like, well,
is that equivalent to like getting the t-shirt that said like, I know somebody that went to, Florida? Or I know somebody that went to Cabo.
But at least you can wear the shirt. I can't put
Would
the
you
license
wear that
plate.
shirt?
I mean, maybe. I can't put the license plate on my car, so it doesn't matter. That's my thing.
Is true.
It's an entirely useless gift.
Okay, so they both do their morning routines. He goes cycling with his group of guys, and she works out with her friend, who is brutally honest, and they have their... they meet up with Jason the trainer.
I was going to say, Jason Segel is in this movie, carried over from Knocked Up. He wasn't a personal trainer in Knocked Up. They were trying to get that porn website off the ground, right?
Yes, that is right. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
So randomly, that character has become a personal trainer in the last 5 years.
Yes.
Which I love for Jay.
Oh,
Jason.
yeah. It's a much more, I think successful. Bodies by Jason, right? And Annie...
Say it again.
Bodies by Jason.
No, say it the way Megan Fox says it at the end.
Jason.
There you go.
Say it.
Bodies by Jason.
Say it again.
Bodies by Jason.
Yeah.
And then Annie Momolo is Barb, who is Leslie Mann's friend.
Yeah.
Or Debbie's friend in it, who is like that one scene is really funny when she's talking about how she just doesn't feel anything down there anymore. That is hilarious.
So just to go back to the gift thing.
Yeah.
You bring that up because there was a scene where Debbie is expecting a gift from Pete.
Yes.
For her birthday. Her not 40th birthday.
Yeah.
And he doesn't get her a gift. And he says, I thought we weren't doing gifts this year.
Right.
And she's like, something along the lines of you always get a gift. She pulled the classic, and we've argued about this on the pod, that don't get me a gift bullshit when still expecting a gift.
Right.
It's a classic thing.
I think some people do that. I mean, when I say I don't want a gift, I don't expect a gift.
How about this, Sarah? I found a list of the most common things women lie to their husbands about.
Oh my God. Okay.
You can. It was like the second hit on Google. If you want to play along while Sarah tries to guess this. Oh, and we've got 7 answers on the board. That's on the board. That's on the board. I'm gonna give you one for free. It's somewhere on there.
Okay. What their shopping habits.
Yes. Well, specifically, so the first one is the lie that this dress was on sale.
Oh, okay. You know what? I have done that too.
So, number one answer off the board.
Yeah.
The dress.
I have done that too.
Was it on? You've done that?
Yes. I've said something was on sale when it wasn't.
Okay, something that's not on here that I also think is a perpetual lie is the I bought 8 of these, but don't worry, I'm going to return 7 of them. I just don't know which one I want.
Oh, yeah, because I've done that too.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
One time
You're not going to return them.
Yeah, I bought 4 dresses for an upcoming wedding, and I was going to like bring them home and show Devin and like, which one do you like better so that I can wear to, you know, the events at the wedding. Like we were going away for this wedding, so I needed 2 dresses, and I bought 4, and I said I would return the other 2. Nope, I still have them, and they're in my closet. I think I returned one of them.
That's not the only time you've done that. I remember you coming home with a fleet of things. Don't worry, I'm going to return a few things.
A fleet.
Yes. That's how I would describe more than 5 dresses. A fleet of dresses.
Yeah, I didn't buy ever more than 5 dresses.
Absolutely. No. I feel like you came home with about 8 outfits once.
Outfits. Let's okay. Whoa. That's very different than 8 dresses.
How dare I not distinguish?
It's
outfits
different.
are totally different.
They are.
You're right.
They are.
What else is on the board?
There's vegetables in it? Or no, there's no vegetables in it?
No, that's a good one, though. That is a good one.
Yeah, because like lots of guys don't like eating vegetables. Where you were last night? Is that bad?
Sarah?
Well, no, when you said go, I don't know.
Are you coming out all...
No, I just don't know what to guess anymore.
So you're... Are you like implying like adultery?
No,
like what is happening here? What do you mean that
just
they would lie about where they were?
What you did that night.
Okay.
If they're not living together, are they? Oh, I guess they're married. Okay, just tell me.
Okay, all right. The number 2 answer.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Is anything to do with how large the guy's package is.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, it's a classic lie.
Really?
I would assume.
I would assume.
The lie
that mean?
the lie about the number of men you've slept with.
Okay.
Classic. Number 4 is the I don't want anything for our anniversary. Lie. It's bullshit. Number 5, lie. I'm in no hurry to have kids, or any lie about children.
Oh, interesting. I never would have guessed that.
Mm-hmm. Number 6, I'm totally cool with your poker nights.
I never would have guessed that.
And number 7, I mean, this one's easy. You wouldn't think about it, but it's the I wouldn't change anything about you lie.
Oh, yeah, no, I never would have
All
guessed
women
the
want
other
to
one.
change something about you.
Oh,
they just
my
lie
God.
about it.
They just lie about it.
Number 7.
Evidently.
Yeah, evidently.
Okay, have you ever faked the poop?
Oh, for sure. Not like with you at home, but like you fake poop. As a guy, you fake poop at work all the time.
Really?
Oh, for sure. I used to work at a gas station. And
oh, that's so gross, Devin, that you used to use the washroom in there.
So I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But there was another dude he would start his shift at noon, and by 12:15 he was already in the washroom taking a shit, and I'm like, dude, you've been here, and he would be in there for like 15 minutes.
What do you think they do in there?
Oh,
what do you do in there?
you go on your phone, you surf TikTok.
You just hate working. Like that's like you don't specifically, but like the person's just like, I don't want to work today.
Yeah,
so
I don't
want to
work today.
Poop.
In this scenario, Pete is like, I don't want to deal with my wife and kids today.
Yeah,
So he just plays what, Scrabble?
Yeah, Scrabble with Ben, actually, from Knocked Up.
Oh, is that who he's playing with?
Yeah.
Oh, hilarious.
Yeah. He says it. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's so funny. Ben is Seth Rogen's character?
Yes.
It's wild that he's not in this movie, but he's mentioned there. I didn't even
He's
notice
mentioned
that.
a few times in the movie, actually.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. But yes, so that's what Pete does. He fakes the poop in the bathroom so that he doesn't have to go outside with his wife and two girls who are practicing their flips on the trampoline. So, yeah. Later on that night, for Debbie's birthday, Pete takes her to a concert, which is not her type of music. Did you ever go to a concert that you hated but you had to endure? Like, it's also part of Pete's work that...
Yeah, so Pete is a record label owner. He owns like an indie label, and he has signed Graham Parker, who is a real musician, by the way.
Yes, he is.
Graham Parker and the Rumor. So there was one concert I was really excited about, and there are parts of it that were really amazing, and there were parts that I thought, this is abysmal. This is genuinely, I want to scratch my ears out thing.
Oh, no.
And he's like, honestly, this man is a god. It's Neil Young. Neil Young, I was at a music festival and Neil Young was performing.
Amazing.
It was a 3-hour set.
What?
And he started off with 2 hits. It was like Harvest Moon, Cinnamon Girl, something like that. And I'm like, this is great. The crowd's getting into it. And then, in classic rock artists, they keep on releasing new albums that nobody buys.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about.
They just don't hit.
That's kind of the premise here with Graham Parker. 612 people bought the new album. Neil Young, I'm sure about the same amount of people bought his new album, but he was here to sell records, so he did the 2 hits, and then he's like, all right, guys, here's my new album. And it was very politically motivated, as he is, but it was just very not good. Like, there was a song about, like, fertilizers killing our dogs, and
my
it's
God.
the Safeway hates the children, and he was just like honestly firing bullets at Starbucks, Walmart, Safeway,
The big box stores.
no rhyming, just all these corporations. And I was like, what is happening here? He had sunflowers on the stage, and he had people in hazmat suits come out and like spray them
Pretend
down
to spray them.
with like pesticides or something like that.
My God. And
and he would go like 4 songs with this new bullshit, and I'd be like, this sucks. And then he'd play a hit, and you're like, oh, and his voice was still there. His guitar, he was,
and
still
you gotta
great.
stay. Like, it's Neil Young.
Oh,
you
yeah.
can't say you left in the middle of it.
He hates Monsanto. I vaguely know what that is. You can Google it. I think it's a noble cause, but the song sucked. I'll be honest. It was very bad.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's brutal. Yeah, you have to endure that one, though. You just have to.
I want to do something for you real quick, because I took some shots at Neil Young, a legend, and maybe that was unfair. So I have in front of you the lyrics to one of his songs from the album The Monsanto Years.
Okay.
I'm going to do a dramatic reading
Oh.
of some of the lyrics.
Can you do a cool voice, too?
The farmer knows he's got to grow what he can sell. Monsanto. So he signs a deal for GMOs that makes life hell with Monsanto. Every year he buys the patented seeds. Poison ready. They're what the corporation needs. Monsanto.
I mean, at least he's rhyming.
When you shop for your daily bread and walk the aisles of Safeway. I'm not even kidding.
Oh my God.
He goes right into Safeway after that.
Okay, I will say you did not look at these lyrics prior to just now, and the fact that you remember the majority of what's you really listened to those lyrics at that concert.
So I was like, what the is happening? What is this? Oh, find the package to catch your eye that makes you smile at Safeway. Choose a picture of an old red barn on a field of green when the farmer and his wife and children complete the scene at Safeway.
Oh my God. You really remembered it really, really well. Good for you, Devin. That really sat deep with you.
So, I objectively, you can decide how you feel about that. Yeah.
Pete and Debbie are having financial troubles, and Pete knows it, but Debbie doesn't quite know it yet. I think Debbie's just kind of living in her own, like, we need to be healthy. We need to, like, stop all these things and blah, blah, blah. Like, her focus is on her, like, lifestyle and her, like, midlife crisis of turning 40, whereas Pete is actually, like, enduring, like, really massive financial troubles. He really needs to stop giving his dad money.
I was about to say enduring, but he is also susceptible to those financial troubles.
Big time. Like, I don't think he's good with money. And
he's giving his dad $80,000.
Yeah, like, let me just talk about that before we dive into. We haven't met Pete's dad yet.
That's right.
But, like, dude, you're useless.
The dad sucks. He's a deadbeat.
Oh
He's just a hateable character. He's a little funny, but
he is funny. He's a funny character to add to it. But yeah, like it's very much so was like added for like a stressor of Pete's and Debbie's life.
Yes, 100%. He sucks. Here's a character that sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, and as Debbie's whole let's get healthy and active, she goes to her gynecologist. And okay, like a quote, and a quote that he says is, he's counting the rings.
Yeah.
To see how old she was.
Like a tree. He's making a
like
tree
a tree.
analogy.
He's making a tree joke. Yeah. And I just was like, oh, that's a little icky. Like, oh, like it's kind of funny, but I'm like, I cringed. I was like,
a little
oh,
uncomfortable.
That's gross. So I just had to say that. But yes, like she's taking steps. She's quit smoking. She, is doing all. She gets a mammogram. She's going to Jason, Bodies by Jason. Like she's really trying to turn it around and make herself, I think, just try to be younger, I think is what she's trying to do. But
100%.
Yeah.
She's literally telling people the wrong age. So yeah, that's exactly what she's trying to be.
Yeah. And so like I said before, Pete has quite the dad. And Pete does try to go to his dad to tell him that he's not going to be giving him any more money. And he freaks out, which I'm like, dude, get a job. Like, that's what you should be doing. Get a different job, get a different hobby. I don't know, whatever. And then on the flip side, Debbie goes to see her father, who is super absent in her life, who has a young family as well, and has basically started his new family without including her at all, it seems.
Yeah.
It's just like the family dynamic in this is very interesting. Both of their father figures, and we never get to see the grandmas.
I was going to say, there are no grandmas.
They definitely weirdly paint the male.
They're like we only want to talk about daddy issues. We don't want to talk about anything
Yeah,
else.
like they both have major daddy issues. Let's talk about it. We don't want to talk about the G-mas.
Yeah, no. Clearly, Judd Apatow had a great relationship with his mom and his dad. He's like, that guy in particular. I'm gonna write two horrible father figures in this movie.
Yeah, so because it is said that it's based on a little bit of Leslie Mann and Judd Apatow's relationship,
oh, no.
right?
So they both have daddy issues.
Well, I don't actually know if that part is, but it's like it is loosely based on like the relationship of the two of them. So Debbie and Pete have a family dinner, and Debbie announces that
Daddy and I are making some changes so that we can be happier and healthier. And another thing we've decided is to cut back on all of the electronics we use.
Sadie freaks out. Sadie is one of their daughters, the eldest daughter. I want to ask you, so like the screen time in Debbie's eyes is like a limiting factor to be more healthy. But in Sadie's eyes, she sees it as like a punishment. Like, oh my gosh, why do I have less screen time? I'm obsessed with the TV show Lost right now. I need to continue watching all 118 episodes of this.
Yeah.
When you did something wrong or bad growing up, like, did you have stuff taken away from you?
Yeah, mostly just grounded. There was one time I got caught at a festival of a kind, but it was no. It was more like a midway. It was more like a fair.
All right.
Like at a festival, you can smoke weed and nobody cares.
Okay.
At some of these other events,
yeah,
it's very much frowned upon. Your friend Devin
probably more of a family atmosphere.
Yeah, your friend Devin was captured in one of those moments by men of the law. Officer McMillan, I remember him well. I'm not even kidding. God. That actually is his name. Because he was horrible. He caught, like, there were a group of four of us, and he called my friend's parents. They came to pick us up, and they were chatting with them, and he was the worst. You know when your parents are like, oh, God, we were going to buy Alex a new car. And Officer McMillan's like, I would strongly disagree with that. And the parents are like, yeah, you know what? He needs to learn a lesson. And McMillan would be like, yeah, he does need to learn a lesson. I would take his license away if I were you.
Fueling that fire.
Oh, my God. Like, dude, we are caught. You got us. Like, stop doing this. Yeah. So my parents were like, we're going to cut your hair. Which I don't know.
Cut your hair. You need to describe the hair for the people.
So my hair was very long at the time. Yeah, I was like, remember like the emo phase back in like, let's say like early 04 to 07,
yes.
Maybe My Chemical Romance, all the rage, Taking Back Sunday.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void were prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Your friend Devin was
Under
all
oath.
about it. Yeah. So I had long hair, dyed it black for a little bit. I don't think it was black at the time. But yeah, so somehow my parents were like, the source of this evil in Devin is the haircut. We got to get that shit gone. So they cut my hair against my will. It was horrible.
How did they cut it against your will?
They like made me. I don't know. Like, you're like 15, 16. I don't know. Like, they're making me get my hair cut.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that you let them cut your hair. Anyway.
Well, am I going to like fist fight my mom?
No. No, I guess not.
You're talking about Sadie.
Yes.
And the screen time. She watches all of Lost in about 5 weeks. She's on the last episode.
Yes.
What's the fastest you've binged a show?
Oh.
What was the show? How fast did you binge it?
Okay, so I think I binged Virgin River first 2 seasons really quickly.
That's
like
embarrassing.
Within a week. No, it's not. No. You know what? I binge watched The Hunger Games recently within a day and a half.
A day and a half? That's 4 movies.
Yeah, no.
4 movies, day and a half.
No.
How many total hours is that? Like 10 hours probably?
Probably. No, you know what? It might be Harry Potter. All 8 movies.
Yeah. How long did it take?
In a few days.
Oh.
At Christmas time, man. Like you just sit there and you just binge watch Harry Potter.
That's not healthy, Sarah. We need to have a Sadie conversation about your screen time.
Maybe 3 or 4 days.
God.
Yeah. Okay, what's yours?
Literally nothing. I have not binge watched anything fast. I think it took me like 6 months to do The Office.
I also have binge watched Friends really quickly.
Yeah, you binge watch things.
Grey's Anatomy, true lover of it.
God.
Ooh. The Chicago like Chicago Fire, Chicago Med, Chicago PD. Those 2. Yeah.
That's like the most embarrassing thing you've said on this podcast.
Why?
That's just embarrassing. I don't need to explain it.
There's so many seasons of it and it's so good.
It's not so good.
Oh my God.
There are so many
so
seasons of it. There's
Yeah.
also so many seasons of like General Hospital. Doesn't make it good.
Yeah, or how about ER? TV
Yeah,
show,
sure.
so good. Okay, so Debbie and Pete go on a trip. Just the 2 of them. I think for like kind of their both 40th birthdays, but I
They
think
go to like a little resort vibe.
they do. And then so they talk about things, and while they're talking about things and hanging out, they do talk about how they would kill each other.
Yeah, they do.
Which like is like weirdly comical.
I feel like you want to kill me.
I do want to kill you.
How would you do it?
And poison you. I poison your cupcakes that you pretend not to eat every day, and just put like enough in to just slowly weaken you.
I love it.
I would enjoy our last few months together.
Me too.
Because you'd be so weak and like sweet, and I could take care of you, but while killing you.
Should I ask if you've ever thought about murder?
No, I haven't thought about murdering you.
Oh, okay, me
I'm
neither.
sure it's something that comes about at like the 15-year mark of marriage.
Okay,
We're only
that's
year 1.
something to look forward
We got
to.
time
Right?
before we want to kill each other.
So they
Hold on, you didn't answer. Do you want to kill me?
No, I said no.
Okay.
No. Okay, so they decide that they're going to eat some marijuana cookies that they mentioned that Ben has provided them.
Oh shit, is that Ben again?
Yes.
He's like a phantom of this movie.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely mentioned literally more than Allison. 100% more than Allison. And then they eat like 6 or 7 cookies, which is way too much.
Oh, for sure.
Let me just say, way too much. I've seen eating marijuana brownies or cookies go wrong, and it is not a good thing. So they have a really great time. They're just like ordering everything off of the room service menu. It's pretty funny. The guy from Superstore, he plays one of the waiters that brings them the cakes. So that's kind of that. They have a really great time there. So Debbie finally finds out about their financial troubles and that Pete is still giving money to his dad. And then it's in like a total of, like you said, $80,000. And that Pete's records for the artist didn't really sell. Like he's flipping out on that end because his like records aren't selling. Debbie's freaking out because their financial troubles are actually real. They're probably gonna have to sell the house. Like, then the same day she goes back for a follow-up appointment with her OBGYN and finds out that she's pregnant.
Dun, dun, dun.
So they're gonna have to sell their house. They have no money. He's not selling any records for this guy, and Graham Parker, and she finds out that she's pregnant. That's like
There's a lot happening.
That's a lot.
One of my problems with this movie is that they never talk. Like, we just had this great moment at the resort. I think that was like hey, these people still love each other, I promise.
Yeah.
And now they're going through all this stuff, but like she doesn't confront him for quite a while about, one, that she's pregnant, and two, about the financial troubles. It like needs to bubble up before shit hits the fan. And that's not for a little while. I just find that kind of weird.
Yeah. Well, and then on Debbie's career is that she owns a shop, and she has somebody who works for her named Desi, who's played by Megan Fox.
Yep.
And she believes that
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Desi has been stealing from them about $10,000 to $12,000.
Because this other coworker, Jody,
yes,
or this other employee, Jody, says that it's Desi.
Right. And so Debbie decides that she's going to go out with Desi to find out if she's actually the one who's stealing. And Desi brings them to a club, and they meet some hockey players, and then they end up partying with them.
Can we just talk about how hockey players are absolutely the worst actors?
Yeah.
So the guys on here, Scott Hartnell, who's like, he's a very loved hockey player, actually.
Okay.
He's he's a beauty, as they would say.
He's a beauty.
He's a beauty.
Do they actually play for the Philadelphia Flyers?
They all, so there were four guys, Ian Lapierre, James Van Riemsdyk, Matt Carl. Those four guys were actual hockey players who played for the Flyers at the time. Oh, cool. And then there's another guy who's actually an actor.
Yes, and he's the one that hits on Debbie.
Yes.
And tells her, "Oh, you're a hat trick, married, have kids, and you're pregnant." Yeah, he is. This is a quick fact, but Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell's son.
Oh, he actually weirdly kind of looks like them. That makes sense.
Yeah, Wyatt. Yeah, that's his name. Anyway,
So in basketball, the famous actors we have, Shaq acted a lot. He starred in a few movies.
Yes.
MJ, of course. LeBron James. Not just Space Jam. LeBron James was in Trainwreck as well.
Yes, he was. Yeah.
Football, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Okay.
He played in the CFL, but he played football. Terry Crews was an NFL player at one point.
Oh my God, no way. Okay. Also,
ask me the hockey players who have turned actors.
0.
Nobody.
Okay, but going back to the NFL,
like nobody good, nobody I want to talk about anyway.
Yeah.
Like there have been some guys who have done like stupid shit, but like Terry Crews was in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah, he was phenomenal in Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
Okay, back to the NFL though. Also in Pitch Perfect, they had an a cappella group who were NFL players.
Oh yeah, that was like Clay Matthews.
Yeah, it was. It was Clay Matthews.
See, but there's the line, Sarah.
Yes.
I would put that acting on the same level.
Agreed.
As Scott Hartnell and all these bullshit hockey players.
That was going to be my question.
They were not good.
But at least they sung.
Yeah, they didn't actually sing.
I'm pretty sure
that was the real voices in Pitch Perfect?
Yes. I'm almost positive. I'd have to double check, but I'm almost positive it was my quick fact.
Let's fact check Sarah later.
Okay.
We'll talk about it later.
All right.
We'll put that on the list.
Yeah. So finally, Debbie, it's blown up. It has bubbled up enough that she confronts Pete about why he's continuing to give money to his dad, how they're not doing well financially, and how the record company is really doing. They get into an argument again. And I think they once again, like they do have it out quite a few times in this movie.
This one's the worst, though.
This is the worst one, yeah. So
it's pretty. It's not fracturing for their relationship, but it's pretty bad. We're in a bad spot in the movie right now. Debbie and Pete, it's not looking good. Financial troubles. She still hasn't told him that there's a potential baby on the way.
Oh yeah, and because and around this time, Debbie asks Pete just like nonchalantly, like, oh, what would you do if we had another baby?
And
And
he was basically like, I blow my brains out. That is death. That's horrible.
yeah.
I think he was joking, obviously, but
like I'm sure there was a hint of truth to it. Like, come on, you're just starting to gain your independence again, and then you find out that you're pregnant. I mean,
that
it
would
is what it is. But when Debbie was out with Desi at the club, she did in fact ask Desi, like, "Are you the one stealing?" And she says, "No. Like, how I get my money and why, I have a nice new car and all this stuff is like I'm an escort." Which, like,
Megan Fox had some funny lines here.
She
She's like, I only
did.
do it like 3 to 5 times a year. Sometimes 7. It's only like 5 to 10 times a year.
and then I think
Maybe
she went
like-
up to 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's an
it's only,
escort.
It's only 20 to 30 times a year. And then she says it's actually Jody who is the one who's stealing money from you because she is like a pill popper and she is a druggie.
Well,
right?
Debbie confronts Jody, and Jody's like, yeah, I'm on Oxy. I need, yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually very odd. That sequence is kind of strange.
Well, because if you remember, Jody is actually from
Knocked Up.
Knocked
She's
Up.
one of the few, yes.
She is friends with, Ben and
The
all of
group of
them
idiots, yeah.
who smoke a lot of marijuana, and I guess Jody, gets into
Partakes in some other things.
Yeah. So she is the one that is stealing from the shop. So that kind of gets resolved. And at this point, Debbie and Pete are really not talking to each other, but they get called into the school, and they're a pretty good team taking down Melissa McCarthy's character.
So this is so funny. A backstory is that Sadie and this other kid, they're chatting online, whatever, and the other kid has been kind of mean to Sadie. He was making like a hot or not group, which like you did in high school. It is what it is, middle school. And like Debbie, in one of her moments of just being under extreme pressure, she loses her shit on this kid. She calls him Tom Petty.
You look like a miniature Tom Petty. How's that feel, huh? You think that haircut's cool? It's not. Looks like you put your Justin Bieber wig on backwards.
And then Pete also runs into Catherine, the kid's mom, and he just like annihilates her.
If he insults my daughter again, I'm gonna hit him with my car. Got it? In fact, if you insult my wife again, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna show up at your house when you're sleeping, and I'll take your iPad or your iPod or your iMac, and I'll shove them up your eye.
Well, then they all get called into the principal's office. And you're right. This is great because I don't know if it's a good thing, but they're amazing at lying to people.
Oh,
So
they
they're
are.
just deadpan like, you know what, you're right. We need to resolve this. And at this point, Melissa McCarthy's character has just, her anger has bubbled to the surface. She is losing her mind on them.
I love it.
And they're playing the high road, and I think it almost aggravates her more.
Maybe if I looked more like this fake bullshit couple, looks like they're in a bank commercial, that's what you look like. Like you're a bullshit bank commercial couple.
Those are some of my favorite lines in the movie.
Yes, and actually you'll see like an extended version of this
The after
of these
credits.
scenes, the after credits, yeah, where they
Because
Paul
it was all
Rudd,
ad-libbed.
yeah, Paul Rudd and Leslie Mann can't contain their laughter.
Yeah.
They can't stop laughing, and I love those after credit, like the end credit scenes. They're just so good. So now we're at Pete's birthday. Pete is turning 40. This is like this entire kind of sequence of scenes are my best scene because all of the shit comes out at this party. They all start yelling at each other, but different things. Like, so Pete is mad at Debbie. Debbie's mad at Pete. Debbie and Pete are mad at their kids. Debbie's mad at her dad. Debbie's also mad at his dad. Like there's just so many aspects of like anger coming out and conversation. And I'm sure a lot of it was improvised and like ad-libbed. It was really funny because you almost couldn't keep track of what was happening and who was mad at who. And finally the money lending, comes out publicly. The pregnancy comes out. The less than around dad comes out. Like all of these things just start bubbling to the surface and everybody knows everybody. It's like airing your dirty laundry literally to everyone.
It's kind of cathartic. We needed that for the movie. We needed all these conflicts to be resolved. My best scene is also in here, but it's just 2 scenes with Jason.
Yeah.
Bodies by Jason.
Bodies by
He's trying to hit on Desi.
Yes.
While Ronnie, who we haven't talked about yet,
No,
he's
we haven't
played by
talked
Chris
about
O'Dowd, who I love. Ronnie is one of Pete's employees. They're both trying to hit on Desi. And there's 2 scenes. There's one scene in the pool where they both roll up trying to talk to Desi, and she thinks they're a couple.
Yeah.
And then there's also the astrology sequence.
Right.
Where she's like, oh my God, you're a Cancer. And he's like, yeah. I'm a Cancer. That makes us so compatible.
In every way.
And then it's the...
Say it.
Bodies by Jason.
Say it again.
Bodies by Jason.
And now just say Jason.
Jason.
Again?
Jason.
That sounds right, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing. Love it so much.
It was really, really good. It is really funny.
Jason Segel steals the movie for me in a few ways with just those scenes. He's so funny.
Yes, I would agree. He is really good in this movie, but he's so good in everything. Like, I really want him to come back and do more.
Yeah, he's been quiet for quite a while.
With Pete and Debbie, Pete just has had enough with Debbie, leaves on his bike, and eventually Debbie goes out to look for him. Pete has gotten hit by a car door, and then the guy who hit him doesn't want it to be his problem, so he punches him out and then leaves. So it's literally a hit and run.
It is a hit and run, yeah.
And Pete ends up in the hospital after being punched out. And the two of them end up reconciling after, weirdly enough, Debbie has a very emotional conversation with Pete's father. And yeah, they end up reconciling, and then that's kind of the end of the movie.
That is the end of the movie. We're being put on a trajectory of like, okay, it's fine, we'll sell the house.
Yeah,
that's totally fine. They go to a show and they see this Ryan Adams, and it's always a thing of maybe Pete made a horrible decision in taking on Graham Parker as on his record label, and how like nobody likes the music that Pete likes, but Pete happens to like Ryan Adams, and so does Debbie, and they're like, hey, maybe you should sign him. And that's like the end of the movie.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, oh, this is over now.
It ends kind of abruptly, honestly.
This movie has remarkably absurd quotes, I think. The question is, Sarah, the game of the day, can you remember them?
Oh,
it's
God.
the...
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
That's not actually right. This is 40 quotes.
All right.
So I've got 4 quotes from the movie. I've changed something about these quotes.
All right.
You need to figure out
I'm
what
ready.
it is. This one was right at the beginning of the movie after Pete reveals that he's on Viagra. He was using Viagra.
All right.
And he said, my hard-ons are still in black and white. This shit's digital.
Is it the latter half of it? This shit's digital?
No, incorrect.
Oh.
Incorrect, Sarah. He says, my hard-ons are still analog.
Oh.
This
shit's
digital.
I like it.
Next one, it's when Catherine, Melissa McCarthy, is in the principal's office, and she's just throwing insults at Debbie and Pete, and she says, I want to jackknife my legs and kick you in the head with my dick bone.
No, it's dick bone. It's not dick bone.
It's foot bone.
Oh, with foot bone. Okay.
When they're at the resort talking about killing each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think you'll get this one. Debbie says, I do want to kill you. And Pete says, how would you do it? Debbie says, I don't know, I'd poison you. I'd poison your muffins that you pretend not to eat every day. And just put like enough in to just slowly weaken you.
Yes. Which actually is such a
That's a great
good
way.
idea.
Oh, it's a great
Like
I love how we're both in agreement like she is the better.
You'd never know,
murder
like,
plan.
you know. No, it's muffins to cupcakes.
Yeah. It's also, there is a point of love here because she does say, like, because you'd be so, like, weak and sweet and I could take care of you, but still while killing you. So she still wants to love him as
That's like
she kills him.
so morbid, though. Like, oh my God.
Last one. Catherine says, their daughter told my son that he looked like Mick Jagger, and in a negative way.
No.
Then Pete says, who's Mick Jagger?
It's not Mick Jagger.
Who is it?
Tom Petty.
It's Tom Petty, baby!
Yes.
And then at the end she says, this is what happens when you corner a beaver. I'll chew through you.
It's not a beaver.
Oh, it's not a beaver.
No,
What is it?
It's, oh my God, a rat.
That's right!
Yes.
Good job, Sarah. The kid does look like Tom Petty, objectively.
I mean, with the Justin Bieber haircut.
For sure.
At that point in time.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Quick facts?
Quick facts. Paul Rudd's farts in one of the bedroom scenes were unscripted. Leslie Mann stayed in the moment and improvised her outraged reaction. The two girls playing Pete and Debbie's kids are actually the daughters of Leslie Mann and Judd Apatow. This movie features the first live performance by Graham Parker and The Rumor in 30 years. Many of the bands brought their kids for the performance as they had never seen their fathers on stage. Graham Parker's involvement in the movie came about when one of Judd Apatow's friends mentioned to him that Parker had a blog, and the most recent post was about trying to get his music into movies. The blog entry even had the sentence, "Are you out there, Judd Apatow?" Sadie is a big fan of Lost in the movie. In real life, Maude Apatow really did get obsessed with Lost and watched the entire series in a few weeks. One of the characters in Lost, Jack, played by Matthew Fox, is repeatedly shown on screen. In the movie Knocked Up from 2007, Ben is very disparaging about Matthew Fox, saying there is nothing interesting about him. Ironically, Paul Rudd, as well, was a self-described mega fan of Lost when it was on the air. The main characters from Knocked Up, Ben, played by Seth Rogen, and Allison, played by Katherine Heigl, do not appear in this sort of sequel, but they are references made to both of the characters. There's a picture of Allison on the wall in their house.
Whoa.
Yeah. And Pete plays Scrabble on his iPad with Ben, and then later mentions getting marijuana cookies from Ben.
I thought it was so strange that neither of them actually made an appearance.
I know, me too.
Like, Jason Segel is in this friggin' movie, but, like, the main two people from Knocked Up are not.
Yeah. 3 other minor characters from Knocked Up do appear in this movie as well. So, Charlene Yee's character Jody, who's now an employee of Debbie's, also was in Knocked Up. Jason Segel's character Jason, and then Tim Bagley reprises his role as the OBGYN.
Oh my god, that's so random. Okay, you can get the friggin' doctor, but you can't get Seth Rogen. That's ridiculous.
The young hockey player who chats up Debbie in the club is played by Wyatt Russell, son of Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell. The song Charlotte plays on the keyboard near the beginning of the movie is the theme song to the TV show The Office. Leslie Mann and John Lithgow play daughter and father in this movie. They played a married couple in the movie Orange County.
Oh, that's creepy.
In the DVD commentary, Judd Apatow says that the man who Megan Fox hooks up with at the store is played by Bill Hader.
I noticed that when I was searching this movie, that Bill Hader is uncredited as, like, Desi's hookup.
I think it's hilarious.
Like,
I love
is he
it.
actually filmed there, or are they just like, that's Bill Hader?
Well, I'm assuming that he's uncredited, so it's Bill Hader.
So how can you get Bill Hader to show up on a security camera? We don't even know it's him.
But you can't get Seth Rogen. Leslie Mann spent her real-life 40-year-old birthday at a strip club in Hawaii. Albert Brooks improvised a lot of his lines in the movie. Albert Brooks plays Pete's father. Paul Rudd wouldn't let them use the hemorrhoid scene and the shot of him trying to inspect his own butt as the film's poster. The scene where Debbie has a discussion with Pete while topless and he doesn't even notice was Leslie Mann's idea. The part of Pete's father was written specifically for Albert Brooks. When Debbie has lunch with her distant father, Leslie Mann was actually suffering from the flu. Yes, I'm Your Angel by Yoko Ono appears at the beginning of the movie, released on Double Fantasy in 1980 when John Lennon was 40 years old. Judd Apatow is quite clear that his wife Leslie Mann has never walked in on him using an iPad while on the toilet, as she does with her on-screen husband, Paul Rudd. Pete makes a joke comparing his sexual prowess to that of David Schwimmer and Ross from Friends in a way that makes it clear he thinks that neither Pete nor Schwimmer are very good in bed. A spokeswoman for David Schwimmer told the Chicago Sun-Times that Schwimmer was not asked beforehand if he would be okay with being the butt of that joke, but Apatow clarified that he didn't mean anything insulting by it, just that Schwimmer is an example of a famous person who is more like Apatow. Paul Rudd, interestingly, was a regular guest star on the TV show Friends during the last 2 seasons of the show.
I mean, first of all, you guys are lying. It was a joke made at his expense, 100%.
Well, yeah.
Because David Schwimmer is low-hanging fruit. Let's be real, guys.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, he was my least favorite Friends character.
Yeah, he's everybody's least favorite Friends character.
Ross is horrible.
Nobody likes Ross.
Nobody likes Ross. Can we talk about the success of them? Is he the least successful of them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston, number one, for sure.
For sure.
Oh, then
they all kind of trickled down. They all did something after, and then I don't know.
Courtney Cox had Cougar Town.
Yeah.
Lisa Kudrow has had roles here and there.
Yeah, she has. She was in Easy A too. As the
that's right. Yeah, she's had a lot of random stuff like that.
Yeah.
Matthew Perry did a lot of stuff during and at the end of Friends, but he kind of took some time off. But I still think he did more than David Schwimmer.
Oh, I agree. I think David Schwimmer is kind of low hanging fruit. I like
Matt LeBlanc, he's come back now.
Yeah, and he's done a few
shows.
things after it too. So the song that Pete sings to Debbie in an effort to demonstrate that what he considers to be good music is Rooster by Alice in Chains, along with references to the Pixies and Nirvana elsewhere in the movie. It makes Pete a true dyed-in-flannel Gen Xer who is aged appropriately as a 40-year-old in 2012. Billy Joe Armstrong from Green Day mentions that it's a pretty big deal when Glee buys a song. Good Riddance by Green Day was purchased by Glee, but it never aired. When Debbie's father excuses himself to leave Pete's 40th birthday party, Pete's father mentions to him that they'll see him again after the Cubs win the pennant. Going by the 7-year gap they had just discussed prior to this line, this means that they would see him in 2019. Pete's dad was off by 3 years as the Cubs finally won the pennant in 2016.
Oh, you missed the biggest quick fact.
What's the biggest quick fact?
Is that a sequel to this is actually being worked on?
No.
Yes.
Really?
Hold on, let me find
I had no idea. That is so exciting.
In March 2022, Apatow was announced to be in early development of a third film. Right, because this is a sequel to Knocked Up,
kind
technically.
Of, yeah.
It's set 10 years later and titled This Is 50.
Cool. I love it.
It's early development. It's happening.
Cool. I'm so excited.
Are we going to see the same cast of people, I assume?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Like, I really hope so.
Honorable mentions.
Okay, so my honorable mention is Jason Segel.
Oh, mine too.
Okay.
He's so good.
He is so good. But I do have another honorable mention is the Megan Fox scenes. They are absurdly hilarious in this movie. And you talk about 2 of them. But just
the ones with Jason
the
Segel.
ones with Jason Segel, they just really did have a funny chemistry. And they were really, really good together. But just the amount of hilarity that they put in her lines was really well done. The
Megan
writing
Fox
for her
is so like enigmatic in my mind. Like she's very disliked by a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I've heard like some of her on-set antics kind of suck. But like her role in New Girl, for example, I thought she was fantastic. Her role in this, I'm like, dude, like she is a good actress.
Yeah.
And then you see stories and it's like, I drink Machine Gun Kelly's blood. And you're like, well, that's
different.
That's not helping your
different.
perception,
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
Like, God. But I thought she was very good. Yeah, honest.
I know. But it was just like the pool scene when when she's swimming underneath, and then the 2 men like go down with her, and then they all come up at the same time. I'm like, this is absurd. Like,
and Jason Segel's like, hey, he's very like,
and she's like, hey, like, it's just so funny. And then at the scene where Pete and his friend is just standing there, they're staring at her in the pool, and
that was funny.
Or they're running around, like they're staring at her running around, and they're like, do you think our wives are looking at us? Oh, 100%. And then the wives are talking and they're like, they look like pedophiles. And I'm just like, oh my God, like this is hilarious.
Oh, it's great. What should have been?
My what should have been is I wish Judd Apatow would have brought back Allison and Ben so it could truly be like a sequel instead of just like an almost sequel.
We have the same what should have been. It's like I was complaining about in Quick Facts. It's ridiculous that we didn't get these people. What do you think? Let's do like a Where Are They Now?
I would hope that they'd still be together.
You think?
I don't know.
Okay.
Because I have read.
Oh, no.
Yes, that if he were to have brought them back, that Ben might be a single father.
Okay. Wait.
Yeah.
No Allison?
I don't know.
What does
Possibly
that mean?
not. Yeah, I know. That's what I read, just like in an article somewhere.
That implication sounds like something happened.
Yeah,
there.
so it doesn't, like, again, this isn't, maybe we'll find out when this is
What
50.
a friggin' loop you've thrown, Sarah.
That's what I read.
And overall rewatchability?
Okay, so my rewatchability is as follows. Chemistry, 4.5. Storyline, 3.75. Thirst factor, 4.5. Thank you, Paul Rudd. Imagination, 3. Soundtrack, 4. Cheese, 3.75 for an overall score of 3.92 out of 5.
We are almost bang on here. And like we talked about, like, I feel like 4 is the cusp of this is something fantastic.
Right.
You had a 3.92?
Yeah.
So I'm at chemistry, 4.2.
Okay.
Even though they were fighting, they were just great on screen together.
Yes, they were.
Storyline 4, Thirst Factor 3.5, Imagination 3.5. Somewhere in the mix of that, I deducted like a whole point across those 3 categories just because I felt like this movie was 20 minutes too long. Did you feel that way?
Yeah, but also like the ending was just it didn't have that full circle ending that I wanted.
Yeah.
You know?
Soundtrack 4, Cheese 4 for an overall score of 3.86.
Oh, very close.
Very close. And like a very good movie, not quite. It's so close to getting into that territory of this is something amazing.
Right.
It's not quite there.
Yeah.
And this has been the Rom-Com Rewind of This is 40.
Thanks for listening.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.